Some guns survive, but make you seriously question your life choices. This is the Smith & Wesson Shield X, and it is going head-to-head with the Glock 48. Ooh. Same test, same sand. Very different results. Let's see if the Shield X can beat the Glock 48 or if it taps out like it's getting choked out on the mat. Alright guys, quick pause here before the Shield X embarrasses itself. This channel is getting views like an Epstein file and folks are staying to watch. If you want to support the channel so I can stop donating plasma to keep it going, buy one of these PVC patches here or a sticker or buy both. Or throw me a super thanks. I'd appreciate it. Alright, let's bully some pistols. Welcome back to the Grumpy Paratrooper. I'm a former paratrooper with too many years of combat experience. I'm actually trained and shoot the guns I review. Today we're running a direct comparison of the Smith & Wesson Shield X and the Glock 48. They're going to go through the Grumpy full gauntlet. Clean baseline, 10 heavy drops, sand and clay burial, and then we'll look and see if it still runs, what fails, and which one I'd actually trust. Nobody sent me these guns, nobody paid me to say nice things. I bought them, I shot them, I buried them. First phase, as usual, we're going to do the clean baseline. Both guns start fresh, 2 mags, no dirt, no drops, no nonsense. All right, let's go ahead and run the Smith & Wesson Shield X with 2 mags through it while it's still clean. All right, now for the contender to the Smith & Wesson Shield X. We've got the Glock 48. Let's go ahead and shoot 2 mags through it clean. Make sure it's functioning well. Glock 48 runs like you'd expect, boring, predictable, reliable. Shield X also runs fine clean. No major issues, it feeds, fires, and ejects. Everything looks promising. So at this point, both guns passed the normal day at the range test, but everybody looks clean in a good uniform. The gauntlet starts when we start throwing them. So next up, we got 10 heavy drops. Think worst case scenario, real life. Falling out of the holster, getting knocked off a barricade, getting knocked to the ground, rolling on the gun in dirt, mud, clay, whatever. All right, on this one, we've got both guns here. We got a slim frame gun here. I want to make sure that we're comparing it to a Glock slim frame gun. So we've got the M&P Shield X ready to throw around here and do a little durability testing on it. And we picked the Glock 48. The Glock 48 and the Shield X are fairly similar in size here. I think that's a good competition here for these two here. So Glock 48 side, and now this is the Shield X side here. The Glock sticks out just a little bit here from it. So let's go ahead and get to it. Let's throw them around, do some light durability testing on it before we punish this thing in the sand and clay. Also wanted to say that on this Glock 48, we do have the Shield Arms mags for this, but for this test, for the durability test, we're going to go ahead and use the actual stock Glock magazine, just like we're doing for the Shield X. We do all stock magazines in these tests for the actual torture test part of it. All right, this is a twofer. Oh, that one rolled.
And I think this is number 10 here, but I can't count. All right, so we're done with that. 10 heavy drops with these things here in the sand and clay. They're looking a little dirty, but they're not looking too terrible here. We'll go ahead and fire a mag out of these or two and see how they do out of just a regular durability test. And we'll kind of look at it and make sure it's functional. All right, so first up, we're gonna go ahead and fire 2 mags out of the Glock 48 here. Oh man, that was kind of tough to pull back from the sand in it. All right, no problem there at all. All right, now it's a Shield Arms mag here, so we'll see how that does. Whoa. That was a bad round. That wasn't the gun there. It popped the primer out. I don't know if y'all can see that in this, but I'll show you here on this camera. Hopefully that'll zoom in on that. Y'all can see that primer there. That's the first time I've ever seen that, where a primer like split in half there. That is crazy. I heard it pop. That's insane. All right. All right, no issue other than that round issue. We didn't have any issue with the Glock 48. Fired just fine from just throwing it around in the durability test here for the more light abuse here. All right, we'll go ahead and get it here with the Shield X. Oh, that was nasty too. They all are. All right, no problem there with that mag. And we had no problem here with the M&P Shield X. Smith & Wesson M&P Shield X. Rah!
Both Glock 48 and the Shield X get slammed in the dirt over and over. First the drop phase, they both still run. Shield X, still cycling, still shooting, and so far, it's actually a fair fight when we get to the part where things go sideways. Now we bury them. Full sand and clay bath.
All right, well, now it's time. Now it's time to torture these things, to bury it in sand and clay. We're going to see how they do. We're going to save you a little time here. We're going to go ahead and bury both of these little pigs in together. Ooh, the clay's still wet. And one more time here, just for good measure. Make sure they both get it good. All right, y'all, here's the result of the sand and clay mix here. We've got some nastiness going on here. You can see those things are just covered. Oh man, both of them have stuff inside between the slide and the frame there. Real nasty. All right, let's go ahead and see how they do. Can the Shield X beat a Glock? All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and set this Shield X down, and let's go ahead and hit the Glock first and see how it does. Well, it loaded, but it's rough. Oh, we had one failure here to feed, or one failure to load, it looks like. Yep, failure to load there. And that was it. So one failure to load out of the first mag. And that's the regular Glock mag here. It just doesn't like that round. All right, second mag, Glock 48. Perfect. Glock 48, looks like we Had one failure to load there. It actually had a failure to load when I tried to put the bullet back in too, so I don't know. These rounds are kind of weird, I guess, because I had that one blow out, then this one was messed up a little bit. But regardless, we had one failure to feed there. So let's go ahead and see what the Shield X does. All right, Shield X. Ooh. Oh. Well, I think that's about as far as I can pull it back here. I did both of these guns the same, so you saw that. All right, well, I don't know, y'all. I'll go ahead and drop the mag in this one. Try to clean it out a little bit, I guess. All right, let's see how it does now. Boy, it just does not want to, doesn't want to pull back with the mag in. Man. All right, well, that is not wanting to fire here. The mag in. Or it's not wanting to rack back with the mag in. All right. Let's see what it does now. Oh, there we go. All right. Oh, failure. Oh, man. Well, not good there. Looks like we have a mag failure here. As you can see, mag failure, so I guess, I don't know. Well, we got a mag failure here on this too. So it didn't want to come back, and we got a mag failure, so I'm going to see what I can do here to fix it so we can continue on. All right, so I've went ahead and dropped all the rounds out of this thing and got them back in there, so we'll see how they do. Nope, failure. Failure to load. So it is. It's not loading here. Nope. Another failure load, same exact thing. Mag failure again. Okay. Just had 2 rounds drop out of this bad boy. There you go. That's the mag failure there. You can see the bullets in there. They are trashed, man. All right, so this is the second mag I was going to fire for this test in the sand clay torture part here. But hey, let's see how it does. This mag is good. So it looks like we broke a mag on it. All right, now we're back in business. Let's see how this thing does. All right, so fired the second mag here, and no lock back. I don't know what's going on with that, but it did not lock back either. So did the Shield X beat the Glock 48? Nope.
I dig them back out, shake them off, and now the question is, which one still wants to be the gun? Let's go ahead and start with the Glock 48 here. Post-burial, the Glock has one failure to load early on. After that, it settles in and just runs. Is it thrilled? No. Is it still a functional pistol you could fight with? Yes. One hiccup and back to business. That's why the Glock baseline is on this channel. Now let's talk about the Shield X, because it did not have the same kind of day. Post-burial, the Shield X basically turns into a training aid for malfunction drills. We see multiple failures to load. Clear mag failure. Rounds dropping out of the mag. The slide does not want to rack back with the mag in. Even with a fresh mag, things still aren't right. No slide lock back at the end, and I literally mentioned the mag failed again. And 2 rounds just dropped out of this bad boy. That's not confidence inspiring. Add in how hard it was to pull the slide back with the mag inserted, and it stops feeling like a gun having a bad day and starts feeling like this platform isn't happy in this environment. Not that many are. So while the Glock 48 is annoyed but functional, the Shield X is over in the corner, fighting for its life. The big question here, did the Smith & Wesson Shield X beat the Glock 48 in the Grumpy Gauntlet? Nope. Not even close. The Glock 48 had 1 failure to load post-burial, then it stabilized and kept running. The Shield X, multiple failures to load, magazine completely just gives up. Slide extremely difficult to rack back with the mag, no slide lock back, even with a fresh mag. And on the Grumpy scale, the Glock 48 passes inspection. Annoyed, but ready for duty. Shield X fails inspection and needs to go back to the arms room for a very long conversation. If you're picking a gun to trust when things get sandy and ugly between these two, I'm taking the Glock 48 every single time. Sorry guys, I thought I was going to make everybody mad in the CZ video, but it looks like the Shield X is probably going to make everybody even more mad. Well, if I didn't make you too mad, do me a favor. Hit that like and make sure you're subscribed with the bell on so you can see when content drops. Be sure and drop a comment here and tell me, is the Shield X or the Glock 48 your gun? Which one would you still carry after this? If you want to directly support the channel, please don't forget, grab a patch or a sticker here. They're in my store there. You can see that link below. Every one of those steps help me bury more guns and buy more ammo and keep the Grumpy Gauntlet going so you don't have to destroy your own gear. Stay safe, stay frosty, and we will catch you in the next one.